Do this. There we go.
All right. Well, welcome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Magical Christmas Market community, and what a community we have become, so large. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sally, and I am the administrator and the moderator and the creator of the Magical Christmas Markets group. And today we're here with probably our most magical partner, Celtic Castles, and our friend Roger, who is going to go through the options for you to actually make this fairy tale holiday a reality, which you can really, really do. Um, but before we get into it, I just want to let you know that if you have any questions, you can pop those in the chat function and we'll get to those. Um, Other than that, I think that's all. You can reach me if you need me. You can private message me. I believe my email and information is up in the featured section, where this recording will be after, probably after today. You can go up and find it in the featured section as well. But without further ado, let me introduce my friend Roger with Celtic Castles. And I should say I'm in New York and Roger is across the pond. So we are spanning a few time zones. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is that you are tuning in from. But thank you so much, Roger, for coordinating all of this for us and this beautiful presentation.
Oh no, it's an absolute pleasure, Sally, and thank you for having me on as well.
Yes.
I suppose where do you start with castles? Castles are enchanting at any time of the year, but at Christmas, I think they just become sort of like a fairy tale experience. And I often think people often dream about, staying in a castle and having that castle experience.
Yes.
And I think in our lives, we should all stay in a castle at least once. And I've been a bit spoiled because I've obviously slept in quite a few
I've
over
heard
the
this.
last 30 years. And it's a joy for me to be able to share these experiences with others. So I feel very privileged. But anyway,
Really.
getting on to, that element of, I suppose, how do you choose a castle for Christmas to have that experience? And I thought what I'd do today is maybe just take you through a couple of the different elements to think about. So there are sort of three main types of castles. If we look at the experience that you can have at Christmas, one's the hotel experience, where it may be one or two people in a room with other guests. And then the other option would be a self-catering or vacation rental type property where you take the whole castle to yourself, but there's no staff there and you are, doing the cooking, etc., but with your family and friends. And
Nice.
then if you really want to push the boat out and be totally spoiled, then we're into exclusive use, the whole family with staff, chef, and whatnot in the property to look after you during your stay. So, without further ado, if we just go through and start to look at elements of that Christmas experience,
Oh my
and I'll take
goodness.
you through just a couple of different castles that offer different styles of packages and try and help explain what you're getting within each of these. So, that's that's a beautiful castle in Scotland that we can see here. But when you're going to take a castle for Christmas, it will be decked out, and you don't have to bring your own decorations or your own tree. So that's fine. But if you were there with a family and you wanted to decorate and whatnot, as long as that's known in advance, that could be arranged. I've not known anybody ever do that, but I just think that would be wonderful as well. Just imagine going and chopping down your Christmas tree and bringing it to the castle,
Oh my
and you
goodness.
there with the kids and family decorating it with the castle decorations that are already there. That would be quite special. But in the main, it's going to be decorated when you land. So that's always a plus. So,
Beautiful.
on the Celtic Castles website, it's very easy to find the castle properties across the navigation bar at the top. You'll see the word Christmas. Click on that, and that will take you into our Christmas area. But these are the three areas that we've got. So all-inclusive castle breaks, that's the hotel. All-inclusive exclusive use, that's having the whole castle to yourself for family and friends. And then obviously the self-catering vacation rental option. And you can see just from these images how luxurious these castles can feel inside. A lot of people think, gosh, they're going to be cold. Will it be warm? Will we have to light the fire to get the place warmed up? They are really, really cozy. Remember, some of these castles have walls 6 foot thick, so they keep the heat in.
Mhm.
But they are all unique. No two are the same, and they all offer something really, really special. And I think that's one of the joys that I have when I go into the properties because everyone has a charm of its own. So, if we look, oh, what I should say as well is timing. We're obviously sitting here in December chatting about this. A lot of the actual castle hotel packages have been sold. There's not a lot left. And
Mm,
if you're thinking from a timing point of view, when is the best time to book a castle experience for Christmas or even New Year, the sooner you do it, the more choice you're going to have. And a lot of people start planning this after the summer vacation when the kids have gone back to school.
right.
So that's probably too late. There is stuff available, but all I often say, start thinking about this either the year before or certainly January, February, March to
Yeah.
give you that choice, especially for the hotel packages and those that are really, really good value. They just fly off the shelf. So we're actually already selling 2026 currently.
Maybe we could do this again in January and February since it's always Christmas in our group. But that's a great idea so that people understand that they need to book quite
Yes, yeah, and we
later.
what we'll start to see is some of those 2026 packages coming through as
Sure.
well. We've got some already, but we'll have more
Right.
as they go through.
Okay.
So, just to give you a range of properties, these are all very, very different castles, as you can see. So we've got a classic, what I would call sand castle here, Langley, and the Christmas package there is from 1,500 or so pounds for a 3 night stay based on two people sharing. So call that £750, maybe £800 per person. And
Okay.
that's just dinner, bed, and breakfast. There's no activities there. You just go there like a hotel, relax, and enjoy wonderful food, super company if you're mixing with the guests, and that's really nice. And this goes back to 1350. This castle. In the middle, we've got Peckforton Castle. Langley is up in the northeast, in Northumberland. So if you think of Newcastle on the map, it's to the left of that. But just to give you an idea, it is sadly sold out for this year, but it does have availability for next year. But I'll show you a few images of that castle and give you a bit more detail. Peckforton is near Chester. Again, look at the shape of that castle. It sort of comes around a courtyard. You go inside, it's huge inside. You know, you walk into long corridors. It really feels like a medieval castle. And then on the right, we've got Stonefield Castle. This is more a baronial home. But it sits on the shore of Loch Fyne. The view from the dining room is just awesome. Although you're not going to see much, after dark. But at breakfast, you'll see a lovely view there. It's great in the summertime. But again, there's two people, 3 nights, 1,200 pounds. So that's £600 per person. It's probably 500 US dollars or so.
Very
So
reasonable.
and absolutely. You
Yeah.
can spend a lot more, obviously, and I'll show you a couple of examples of that. So I mentioned before that you can just click Christmas at the top of our navigation bar. You can see that up here. And then you're going to get a list of castles, and you can choose, which country you want to have a look at. You'll get an image, you'll get some details about the castle. This particular one, Crossbasket, it doesn't have any rooms left in the castle at the moment, but it does have it in the hotel rooms, which are gorgeous at the side, so you can still stay here. And they're from 2,400 per room again for a 3 night package. What I would
Okay.
say as well is for hotels, they tend to package it on a 3 night block. For self-catering, vacation rental, they're normally on a 7 day let, so a weekly let, but some will reduce that to 4 nights. And for the exclusive use packages, again, they're generally packaged on a minimum of 3 nights, but you could stay there for a week or 2 weeks. It would be your home during your stay.
Lovely.
So we're back to Langley. This is the Sand Castle, 1350. Huge amount of history linked to this. And you can see the bedrooms here. It sits amongst the trees, and the bedrooms themselves are all unique and individually designed. Most of them have four poster beds in them, and you do feel like you're stepping back in time. And the castle at the back has a floating restaurant, which is gorgeous,
Oh,
as well as one in the main building. But this castle just has 9 bedrooms in the building itself, and then it has some castle view uh, uh, rooms. So this again is an example of one of the bedrooms, and most of the ones in the castles have these lovely little seating areas where the window is. And it's great just to sit up there and read a book if you just want some quiet time. And
right.
the rooms are all of a good size. So from that point of view, but you can see the stone walls, etc. You do feel as if you're in a medieval castle.
That's amazing. And so guests can book either one room or they can book all of the
Well,
rooms,
with this particular castle, it's just sold one room at a
one room
time.
at a time.
If you
Okay.
wanted to buy out the castle totally, you'd have to have another 48 friends.
Okay.
So you
Gotcha.
could do it exclusively. You'd have to book well in advance for that, but
Right.
that is possible.
Okay.
And from that point of view, then you can have the place to yourself. Yes.
Gotcha.
But it wouldn't be normal to do that. Some people have weddings in castles over Christmas. So, they would be very well set up for a wedding at Christmas if somebody thought they
Beautiful.
wanted to do that. And again, then everybody could stay at the castle for a period of time.
That is
Um,
beautiful.
this is a modern room. It's not in the castle. This is in the castle view area, but it's like a well-appointed hotel room. You don't get the same historic features, but the building itself obviously is an old building. But they're gorgeous inside, very, very comfortable. But the nice thing about these rooms is you get to see the castle because you're looking up at the castle.
Right.
So from here, if you look at the top of the picture,
Mm,
that courtyard area at the top, that's where the castle view rooms sit. And then they look up the hill towards the castle itself.
that is
So
lovely.
if some people want that, then that's great. And just to give you an idea of sort of prices, this castle price is this per person. And remember, this is just a dinner, bed, and breakfast option. So there's no activities,
Okay.
but you can get a castle view room for £850 per person. And remember, Stonefield was 800 odd pounds per room. So there's a big, it's double the price.
Right.
And their top rooms go up to about £1,200 per person, which is, probably about $950 or so.
Okay.
But that's a gorgeous place, lovely atmosphere. And of course, if you're in Castle View, you can come into the castle and enjoy your time in the Great Hall and in the restaurant, etc. So you still have access to
It's beautiful. We have a Langley here in the United States,
it.
but it's the CIA headquarters in Washington, D.C. So I think I would much rather stay at your Langley, which
Absolutely.
looks
And of course,
beautiful.
indeed, if you needed to defend the property, you've got the right building to do it.
Right.
Indeed.
So pretty.
Lovely things about Langley, Sally, is they do a historical tour as well, and you can get onto the roof of the castle, and from
Oh,
there you can see Hadrian's Wall.
oh, wow. That's
So
beautiful.
that gives you an indication of where it is.
What a great thing to do. What a great thing to do with your family and your children.
And absolutely, absolutely, yes. So we'll move down south now. We're going down to the Bristol area. This is a little village called Thornbury. And this is a 500-year-old Tudor castle. Really easy to get to, 2 hours from London. And again, look at the luxuriousness of the rooms inside. They're really, really well appointed. It had a huge investment 3 or 4 years ago. A lot of money was spent on it. And just the richness of all the material, the colors, etc. But you can see the festive look as well. Christmas trees everywhere.
Beautiful.
This is the garden. And again, it's a popular place for weddings because the church is just just beside the castle. But Thornbury offer a package. So it's not just dinner, bed, and breakfast. And just to read through a couple of the things that they offer. When you arrive, it's afternoon tea. So you can relax in gently in front of the log fires. Candlelit Tudor Hall in the evening with a choral performance. So, you're really going to get into the festive spirit with this. And then a little bit of hot chocolate, champagne, canopy reception, and then a three-course dinner with live music to set the festive tone. For those who wish to attend the Christmas service, this is St Mary's Church, and it's literally a 5-minute walk from the castle.
Oh,
So to go there and sing some carols and see Christmas Day in at the service, and then come back to the castle, I would say would be really, really special. And I can remember when I was at home and we went to the midnight service, it always sort of started Christmas. So
yes.
you can see how, day one you've arrived, you've done so many things, and it's set in a gorgeous village on the edge of the Cotswolds, so absolutely perfect. Christmas Day, leisurely breakfast. You can exchange gifts if you want in your room or down in some of the public areas. Again, a champagne reception before sitting down to an indulgent 4-course Christmas lunch. So don't eat too much for breakfast. You can then relax in the Tudor Hall, enjoy the broadcast of the King's Speech if you would want to listen to that. That takes about 15 minutes at 3 o'clock. And for those in the mood, a little adventure maybe. Embark on Thornbury's enchanted Tudor quest. So, a treasure hunt through the castle grounds in search of the legendary lost jewel. So, you can see there's lots to do.
How
Or
fun.
you don't have to get involved. You could just sink in a chair beside the fire, read a book, play a board game, whatever. You don't have to get involved. But there's stuff going on. And then in the evening, festive cocktail before a buffet supper and some live lounge music going on as well. Boxing Day, it doesn't stop. Again, a laid back Tudor style brunch featuring steak, eggs, roast salmon, and whatnot. Just keeps getting better, Sally, doesn't it?
It does.
Um, a Bloody Mary if you need one, depending on what you drank the night before. The castle grounds with Tudor-inspired adventures. So a little bit of axe throwing, maybe, or longbow archery. So
Fun.
again, it helps create that memory, that experience at the castle.
Absolutely.
And then in the evening, well, the champagne comes back out again. You're in the lounge for 6:30 and a dazzling 5-course gala dinner to finish off the stay with again live entertainment and obviously the festive spirit throughout. And then up for breakfast in the morning, leisurely departure. That's the 3-day package. I've got 3 rooms left in this castle,
Oh,
which is surprising. So I think 1 or 2 have been cancelled for whatever reason. So a deluxe double there would cost 3,850 based on 2 people. And I've got 3 castle suites left at 5,500 per person, which is probably about $4,200 or thereabouts.
right.
But Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn are famous from this castle.
Oh
He
my
stayed
goodness.
there and whatnot. There's a room that he slept in. And funny enough, it's the Henry VIII room. Jane
Oh,
Seymour Suite is gorgeous, and the Catherine of Aragon. And those 3 rooms are the ones that go first because everybody
right.
wants to stay in that historical um, experience. But that's an
Is there
example.
some kind of transfer? How does, if someone is flying into London and they're staying there, do they get their own transfer or?
The easiest thing to do, I mean, if somebody wanted to have a chauffeur pick up at
Mhm.
the airport, drive them straight to the castle, that can be arranged.
Okay.
The easiest thing is a train out of London. It's 2 hours to Bristol and then a taxi up to the castle.
Okay.
So there's a couple of options. Or if somebody wants to hire a car, it's a motorway drive most of the way to the property. So it's a
Right.
very easy drive. And it sits in a lovely little village called Thornbury. So, it's quintessential England, really.
Yes.
But it's got a lovely feel to it, and the food there is fabulous as
That's
well.
great.
So, that's the hotel experience, and you can see the difference between, what a bed and breakfast option would do,
Mm,
as well as something that's fully packaged. And
yeah.
there's a lot to choose from, obviously, if you're booking early. And everyone is slightly different. When you get up to Scotland, the bagpipes come out, etc., etc. So it's all very, very bespoke to the property.
Fabulous.
So self-catering vacation rental. Now, some of the larger properties will offer them out on a self-catering and an exclusive use basis. This first one in his house sleeps 38 people. It's up near Inverness. It's up on the Moray coastline. So easy access from Aberdeen or Inverness Airport. And they have a package for 22,500 for 3 nights, but for 38 people. So the cost per head when you're doing a vacation rental makes these places very, very affordable. But
Absolutely.
remember, you will have to do your own cooking, or alternatively, and again, you could bring a chef to help at extra cost. So if you didn't want to do all that, and I can understand why at Christmas, chefs are really hard to get hold of for the
Mm,
festive period. They're obviously more expensive, and you do have to book them exceptionally early. But
right.
again, there'll be some local contacts up there. We know the team, and they may know somebody who's available to book. But again, that would be needed to be booked minimum 12 months in advance if you wanted the chef in. But anything's possible within reason. Um, Chateau de la Fronde in the Dordogne in France. So if you wanted a bit of a French festive experience, 7 nights there. So they're doing the full week element, 15,000 euro. So really, really good value. And again, have a French Christmas. And then the other one that I've got here, Ferniehurst Castle. This is in the Scottish borders. And for 4 nights, and you could extend this if you wanted, it's about 3,300 a night. For 4 nights, 13,200, and that castle sleeps 18. It's a
18.
15th century property, and I'll show you a few of I'll show you what it's like inside.
Oh my God.
So again, you've got the stone walls, the fireplace, etc., etc. And I think that's one of the great things about a castle at Christmas. You've got to be hunkered down beside the fire.
Right.
And I've been in some of these castles where the fireplace is so big you could park a car in it. Can you imagine? So there we go. So that's just a nice cozy gathering place and just relax and whatnot. So
Love.
really good value. You're in the Scottish borders. You'd probably fly into Edinburgh or something and come down to Jedburgh. So lovely country walks available and whatnot. But I tend to, when I get into these castles, just want to stay in the throes
Sure.
of the property itself.
Now, if you're in there on your own, do they leave wood for you in order to make your own fire?
They would leave wood, etc. And something that lots of people ask, because obviously if you're having to get your own provisions,
Right.
etc., there are ways to do that in advance so that when you arrive, it can be ordered online and then the delivery arrives as you're there.
Oh,
So
okay.
again, those are all little bits of useful information to make
Sure.
the stay easier. But likewise, if you rock up and you need to go out to the supermarket, you know, sometimes these areas are a little bit more remote, but Jedburgh has some good facilities. Just pop down, buy what you want. So
Okay.
different people like to do it in different ways.
Sure.
But you can see, it's a big, big room, lots of space and whatnot, and lots of historic stuff. So that's
Beautiful.
Fernie Castle. Now, if we look at Colocan, this is down in the southwest of Scotland, down in Ayrshire. Um, it's a property or an estate that is capable of sleeping 40 people because they have 3 cottages on the estate. But if you're looking at the castle itself, the castle, as we see it here, sleeps 18 in 10 bedrooms. So they have a 3 night package, and this is a property that offers both. So you could have vacation rental, or you could have it fully staffed. So you get the best of both worlds. And price wise, it changes quite dramatically. So for a 3 night package, and this is based on 24 guests, so you get the 18 in the castle, and they have an adjoining building with, 3 really nice bedrooms. And it's just a short walk across into the castle. They're pricing it on 24 for just under £20,000 for
Okay.
3 nights. And obviously, if the group's bigger and you want additional accommodation, there's the cottages. But that's for the castle itself. Look inside, look at the way it's been, you know, decorated.
It's
It's
beautiful.
gorgeous. When you walk in up the steps, you're met by a suit of armor,
Is
so
that right?
it's quite quirky. The other lovely thing inside the property, this is it on the outside.
Oh,
You
how
can
nice.
use this covered area in the winter time as well, if you wanted to be outside, and it's nice just to sit there with the frost
Sure.
all around you or whatever. But that's the garden area. But look at that,
Oh,
a nice glass of whiskey, some lovely mince pies, and the fire
lovely.
lit in the background. And I love sitting on those sofas. The heat from that fire is amazing. But what's lovely about this room as well is behind the scenes, you can touch the oak panels. So we've not got wooden, um, wooden or stone in the room. It's all
Right.
paneled, but when you open up the paneling, you can find priest holes, hidden
Oh my
staircases, and
goodness.
everything else. So
It's
that's really
magical.
quite interesting. And of course, then the history of the property comes out
Right.
also. So if you wanted it serviced and you wanted to have staff in there, the price goes up to £55,000 for just
Okay.
18 people in the castle. Now, this can all be bespoke, of course, and if money's no option, you can put more people in there and whatnot. And then on top of that, that does include food, but if there's specific things that you want, then that can be added. So if you wanted, somebody to come in to do a falconry display, or you wanted
Mm,
to do some shooting on the grounds,
wow.
or whatever, anything's possible with the team at the castle. So it's just limited to imagination.
Right. That's great. And that one has the other buildings outside for more
It
people.
does, yes. So you can have
Yeah.
24 really in the castle or close by, and then there's three
Okay.
cottages, so you can take it up to 40. The
That's
first time
great.
I stayed in this castle, I slept in this bed, and it
Oh,
was so comfortable. And there's a
it
little
looks
turret,
beautiful.
there's a little turret bathroom in this room as well. The second time I stayed here, I was in the hidden room. So
Oh,
basically, you're in the library, and the library panel opens up, the books come
ah,
away, and bang, you go into the room that's hidden away. So that's always
amazing.
good fun as well. It can be really good if you've got family there and you can play around with that. So that's
Absolutely.
Culloden Castle, gorgeous property, really nice feel about it. And you're down on the southwest coast, so you're beside the shore at Girvan,
Hmm.
really, and that's sitting outside, just on those seats.
Pretty.
So another exclusive use property, and I think this is the last one I'm going to share, to be honest. Otherwise, we'll be here for,
All
for
day.
far too long. This is Borthwick Castle, near to Edinburgh. It's about 7, 8 miles south of Edinburgh. Now, this is just exclusive use. So they offer a bed and breakfast package. It's 3 nights. It's about the same price as Colocan, but it sleeps 26 in 12 rooms. And that's 52,500 bed and breakfast. And if you wanted to put dinner on top of that, a good sort of ballpark figure would be from about £200 per person
Okay.
for a bit of lunch, bit of dinner, etc., etc. But that can be bespoke, discussed with the chef, etc. But you get it fully staffed, daily housekeeping, unlimited still and sparkling water, and teas, freshly brewed coffee, etc. Delicious cooked breakfast, and I have to say the breakfasts at Borthwick are pretty amazing. And you have them in the Great Hall. And this Great Hall, I mean, you're sitting there with a vaulted ceiling and you're just looking up and thinking, this is just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Magical history to this property. Um, you know,
It looks like
Mary,
there's a church there too that you can
there
walk.
is, yes, and it's popular for weddings as a result of that. I don't know whether the church is open at Christmas time, to be
Mm,
honest. It
okay.
may be, but I would have to double check that. But the castle itself, Oliver Cromwell was firing cannonballs at this castle and didn't penetrate the walls. They are so
Ooh,
thick. But the
is that
holes that
right?
he left are still there.
Oh,
And Mary Queen of Scots, was in this castle. There's a room named
wow.
after her and whatnot. So it's a gorgeous place. I love it. And I've got a little video on our YouTube that talks about the gap between the two towers there you can see.
Yeah.
And they used to put people on the top of the roof and tie a cannonball to their ankle and get them to jump across to the other tower. And of course, as you can imagine, well, if you look at that video, you can see I can't make the jump. There's no chance. So what
No
happens?
chance.
Boom, they go down. 90 feet,
Right.
dead.
What great history, though.
Oh, there's loads
Amazing.
of stories like that in this property. It's all
Amazing.
full of stone walls and everything else. And look how luxurious it is inside.
Oh,
I mean, I talked about a Christmas, our castles being enchanted all the year round. This has the Christmas colors
yeah.
already before they decorate the property. So it's gorgeous. It really is nice inside. So
That looks
26
like the
people in
Bayeux
here.
Tapestry also, right?
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that's one of the bedrooms.
oh my goodness.
So you do feel as if you are very much living, the five-star lifestyle.
Absolutely.
And you can imagine what this would have been like. It would have had heavy drapes. It may not have had all the same colors and whatnot, but it would have
Right.
been draped, and whatnot in medieval times.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's got a beautiful feel. And then you duck in and go in under the bathroom there on the left. It's nice.
Like
So
magic.
as I said, that's the last castle I'll go through. Like I say, I could talk forever about castles.
Me
Um,
too.
it is about really planning ahead, and we're already starting to put packages up for 2026, and we are selling them. But what I would say, a lot of people who come onto the site get totally overwhelmed by the choice. So, from that point of view, if you need any help, chat to one of our experts or myself, whatever's helpful. But we're here to help find the right castle and the right experience for your budget and whatnot. Which sort
Yeah.
of brings me on to how do you choose a castle? And I think if I'm looking at this sort of from a starting point, especially if you've not stayed in a castle before, I think the key thing is what are your numbers? If it's two people, you're going to focus on the hotel
Right.
packages. If it's going to be a larger set of numbers, then that could determine a route down the vacation rental or alternatively, an exclusive use. And then thinking about location. Or no, I'd probably put budget actually before that. Think about the budget that you want to spend, and again, you can hone that down with the various searches we have, or again, just give one of our experts that detail, and they'll do that work for you. But yeah, budget is important, and then location, because if you're flying into the UK,
Mhm.
are you going to come into Manchester, London? Are you going to go to Ireland, wherever that might be?
Right.
And that could determine the radius of where you're prepared to travel to a particular property or any connecting transport that's required. And remember, a lot of the properties, especially the exclusive use, can put drivers in place and from there pick you up and take you to the property,
Right.
or you know rent a car and drive through. And then I suppose it's the style of property you want. So, for example, do you want the castle-looking castle, with all the turrets? Do you want Langley with, that sandcastle feel?
Mhm.
Or are you looking for something that's a little bit even more medieval, like Borthwick or Colocan, has that medieval feel from the outside. And then when you go in, is it stone walls you want, arched, sort of hallways, vaulted ceilings, or do you want the wood paneling like we've got here with that beautiful Christmas tree and all the little surprises behind the paneling?
Amazing.
So again, just think of that experience. Bedrooms could be important to you. What do they look like? Is it a modern feel? Is it more of a classical feel or something medieval with a four-poster bed? So there's lots to consider, but if you start thinking on those layers, numbers, budget, location, and then style, that will
Right.
help you refine down what you're looking for.
It is.
And
What about
then
mobility issue? Is there any kind of, are there a lot of stairs inside, or if someone had mobility issues, would
very few, some castles have lifts, but not many.
yeah, I would think.
Some of them have obviously stone staircases, spiral staircases going
Right.
up. So if somebody had a mobility issue, some also have ground floor rooms. If there was a mobility issue, it is just worth flagging that in advance.
Right.
Because again, it might be that to eat, you have to go up to the Great Hall, which is on the first
Mhm.
floor,
Right.
um, even though there's a ground floor bedroom. So it might be two flights of stairs. So it's always worth highlighting that. But
Yeah,
different properties have different offerings, and there will always be staff there to help if it's a hotel or an exclusive use. But yes, we're able to help with that
that's
if
great.
somebody has specific needs.
That's great. And I've gone through the website. It's very, very comprehensive and helpful. And all of the points that you're making about, what kind of a room and what kind of a castle, you can really look through them and get that information.
Yeah, there is a lot of info on there, and we try and just keep that up to date as much as
Yeah,
possible when things change. But yeah, there's a lot of detail and photographs of rooms as well, which helps, and public areas. But yes, it's down to your style, your taste. What's the experience that you want? And I think what I often say is, we all go and stay in hotels, and we leave the hotel, and you probably forget it by the time you've got home. When you stay in a castle, you never forget that
never.
experience. You might forget the castle name, but you don't forget the castle experience.
Oh,
So all of that together with Christmas brings that magical feel to
really?
it for sure. And, it may be a once in a lifetime experience,
I
but
was just going to say that it's really a bucket list, especially coming from the United States too. If you're flying over there, what a beautiful fairy tale holiday you can have.
uh,
It's just beautiful.
absolutely. Now, Sally, I have to put a caveat on all of this as well. The
Yes.
one question we get asked most is, will there be snow at the castle?
Can you tell them?
Well, considering the UK can get all four seasons in one day, it's always a challenge. What I generally say is, and I have been snowed in a few castles, but not at Christmas. Um, in Scotland, that is the best option to get snow, but you would probably just see it on the tops of the mountains.
Mm,
Generally, we have had quite warm Christmases over the last couple of years, but if you get a really cold frost, that's probably one of the best things because you
nice.
still get the bit of the white and
Right.
whatnot, and it does feel Christmassy.
That's,
But generally, the snow here comes a little bit later, but it can come at any time. We've already had snow this year in the Scottish Highlands.
is that right?
Yes.
I've heard that we're all going to get quite a bit of a rough winter, so maybe this year
Who knows?
we'll
Who knows?
see.
Yes. But that's sort of the Christmas experience. I hope that shares a little bit of what's possible. And
Oh my
also
goodness.
I've been able to sort of generate a bit of the feeling that you'll get when you stay there.
Yes, I was just going to say I feel like we just walked through a fairy tale. It's absolutely beautiful. And what a great option for people for a holiday. And I think it's not something that people know that they could actually do. So I appreciate and thank you so much for laying that out and making it so that people understand that this is something that they could really do, even if it is once in a lifetime.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Roger, so much. What a beautiful presentation.
My pleasure.
So if anyone has any questions, we are going to drop this video as well. And if you had any questions, you can certainly reach out to me and I can get in touch with Roger if you had any specific questions, and we'll get back to you on those. Again, like Roger said, this year is done. 2026, I'm sure, is probably very full already. So if it is something that you're considering, we should look at it soon, right?
Okay. So I'll
So we'll wrap it up for today. And Roger, again, thank you for being such a wonderful partner to the Magical Christmas Markets group. It's such a beautiful option that we can put in that I know people are really going to appreciate. And thank you so much for all of setting all of this up for us.
it's been an absolute pleasure, Sally. And
Yes.
as I say, if any of us can be of any help at all, just contact us through the website, and we'll be more than happy to support them.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I'm wishing you and your family a very beautiful Christmas season and Christmas Day. And we'll get back together again after the new year and start planning for next year as well.
Lovely, Sally, and the same back to you as well.
All right. Thank you, Roger.
All the best then.
Alrighty. Bye-bye now.
Right. So I'll stop the share and I'll stop the recording. Let's just say.